Norman Rockwell was born in New York in 1894. He always wanted to create art. Rockwell enrolled in an art school at the age of 14 and 2 years later left high school to pursue art at the National Academy of Art and Design. Quickly after, he transferred to the Arts Student League, where he learned about illustration and technical skills from Thomas Fogarty and George Bridgman. Rockwell started painting the covers of Boys Life magazine, a Boy Scout magazine, as a teen. At the age of 22, Rockwell painted his first cover for the iconic Saturday Evening Post. For 47 years, Rockwell painted another 321 covers. The Saturday Evening Post was considered Rockwell's greatest show window in America. As we go through the next several pictures, I want you to start thinking about what daily life has been like over the past year. How can you tell a story about your world through your artwork? We will be using the Saturday Evening Post to create our own story.
Norman Rockwell is one of America's most important artists. He was born in 1894 and he lived for 84 years, and during that time he lived through an extraordinary arc of American art. He grew up in an era where American illustration art was the dominant visual art form in our nation, and artists aspired to be illustrators and have their works on the cover of the Saturday Evening Post and all the major magazines of the day. And before radio and television, this was the dominant way to receive pictorial information. So Norman Rockwell aspired from a young age to be an illustrator. It was his dream. Some of his favorite memories were summers he spent in the country, and this always stayed with him, that his love of the country, his love of small communities. So after he spent the first early years of his life in New York City, and then his early adulthood in New Rochelle, New York, he did move to New England and lived for 14 years in Arlington, Vermont, and the last 25 years in Stockbridge, Massachusetts. Rockwell painted for nearly 65 years, and one of the aspects I find remarkable about his work is that he was able to keep his finger on the pulse of America and of the American people for nearly 4 generations, and was able to connect and communicate through all the changes in American life, in fact around the world during that time, changes in communication, changes in transportation. My own view of Rockwell is that he truly was a genius. Not only was he an extraordinary painter, but he had a keen ability to observe and understand human nature and to capture and reflect that emotion and engagement and interaction of people. He just had a facility and a love for people that I think was behind his genius in both seeing and painting. So in 1967, there was a movement to tear down an old home on the main street of Stockbridge. It was known as the Old Corner House, and a group of citizens got together to save this building. And Norman and Molly Rockwell were 2 of the citizens who helped with this effort, but they needed to do something with it and decided creating the Stockbridge Historical Society would be a good use for it. And Norman Rockwell said, well, I have all this artwork, it's in storage. If you'd like to show it at the Old Corner House, I'd be happy to lend it and put it on view. So this was the beginning of the Norman Rockwell Museum. We have the largest and most important collection of Norman Rockwell's art in the world, and we have his archives and papers, and we also have the very special artist studio that he donated to the museum. It's a very intimate space, and it takes you right into the world of the artist. The easel where he painted, the chair he sat in, his paintbrushes, all these stories are present in the studio. Well, we're seeing a wonderful surge of interest in Norman Rockwell and in American illustration art. These works are highly sought by collectors now, and I think the art world really is weaving together the larger story of American art. We're the leading organizer of American illustration exhibitions in the country, and we have traveled these exhibits, both our Norman Rockwell collection and our archival materials, but the wonderful works of other important American illustrators such as Jerry Pinkney and David Macaulay, Wendell Miner, many others, to more than 150 museums in this country, as well as numerous foreign countries. So the museum's reach is broad, and the audience accessibility is a major goal that we hold for both scholarship as well as enjoyment. Well, it's extremely rewarding to me to see Rockwell's work used to illuminate contemporary moments. So these iconic visual images come around as important reminders of the central values we hold in our country and as a people. These images really are emblematic of the important moments in our nation's history and, in fact, our important human values.
As we prepare for this lesson, I want you to think about, what was your first Zoom lesson like? What has it been like to go to the stores? What have you noticed is different about how we are currently living? How has spending time with family and friends changed? How have restaurants and living spaces changed? And how are we celebrating differently? Think about how you will show your world through your art. Hello, second grade. What we're going to do today is we just finished learning about Norman Rockwell and his world, and we looked at some images that showed us what the past year has been like during quarantine and during COVID. For today, what you're going to do is you're going to watch the video and you're going to think and reflect upon your daily life and what it's been like during this past year. I want you to talk with your friends here in class today about what it's been like and what you've done that has been different. Or is it different going to stores? Is it different, with your learning? Is it different with family celebrations? Think about things that have changed for you over the past year. You're brainstorming these ideas because you're going to show your world through your artwork. So for today, what we're going to do is we're going to click on this template. We got a template that's right over here. And when you click on the template, you are going to brainstorm at least 3 ideas for your project. So I'm going to click on the template. It's going to take me to this first page here. And what you're going to do is you're going to brainstorm. You can type, you can record, you can video your ideas for your Saturday evening post cover here on this page. So maybe I would say, family celebrations are different because we're doing them via Zoom. Or maybe I would say learning is different because for me, I don't have you guys in my classroom this year. So everything has been asynchronous and you've done it over Zoom. Think of at least 3 things that you can do for your Saturday evening post cover. If you want to do a little doodle, you can do a little doodle on here to kind of get your ideas rolling. And then on the next page, this is actually a bonus activity, but it says share your photos of what you've done during 2020 on the next page. Here's a few examples. So these are some pictures that some of the teachers have taken to show that, the playground at Bel Air was closed. We've done birthday parties, over Zoom with cake and singing, and even just picking up food at restaurants because restaurants, you can't eat inside of them right now. We were able to do pickups at the restaurants. So if you have some special photos that you would like to share, you can go ahead, you can upload those to this pink page here. This again is just part of the bonus activity. What you do need to do today is to brainstorm those ideas and talk about what life has been like and what you're going to draw for your Saturday evening post cover. For this project, you will be able to either print this template next week or you can actually just draw it digitally. But we'll talk about all that good stuff next week. All right, have fun, enjoy, and work hard.